So Cordae just dropped his sophomore album this past week, um, from a bird's eye view, and I'm here to talk about it. Before we get into the album, though, I do want to talk about Cordae, um, and just give you guys my thoughts on him. Honestly, I feel like Cordae is either loved or hated, just for the same reasons that some people think he's exactly like J. Cole. Others think that he is one of the better younger rappers out there, and that by the end of his career, he's going to be a top 25 greatest rappers of all time, which is just insane to me. Um, I'm like in between. I mean, I don't really hate Corday. I do think he is a good rapper. Uh, Definitely a lot better than these newer um, artists. Now, just because he's a good rapper, that doesn't mean he's better than a lot of these new artists. Because I can definitely give you guys a bunch of artists that I think are better in terms of like making music that I'm going to listen to again and again and again. His first album, The Lost Boy, I was actually a fan of. It obviously didn't blow me away, but I liked what he was doing, especially the whole concept of the album. Like I said before, I am a big fan of when artists do concept albums. So just him doing a concept album, I really enjoyed that. The album cover was also a pretty good album cover. Also, the album cover for From a Bird's Eye View is also good. So right now, Corday is 2 for 2 in terms of making great album covers. I think The Lost Boy was in my top 10 of 2019 in terms of the album cover. And so I'm pretty sure From a Bird's Eye View will be somewhere in my top 10 best albums. I mean, best album covers of 2022. But yeah, back to what I was saying. The Lost Boy, I think it was a pretty decent project. I think I rated it a 7 or a 7.5 out of 10 if I remember correctly. It's a above average album. Nothing too big, He isn't really doing anything new. I guess he isn't really bringing anything new to the table. So, um, yeah, I wasn't expecting this album to be like one of the best albums of all time. I didn't even expect this album to make it to my end of the year list, and so I didn't really had high expectations going into this album. Once I listened to it, I came out of it. I pretty much got what I expected from Corday. I wasn't expecting anything from him, honestly. Just pretty much the usual. Obviously, Corday improved in his uh, rapping and in his lyrics too. He isn't talking about the same thing he was in The Lost Boy just because now he's in a whole new stage of his life. He made it, he is rich now, and now he's just pretty much talking about um, what he's going through right now. So obviously, it's not going to be the same um, topic that he was talking about in The Lost Boy. But yeah, I mean, he improved, but in terms of like songs, in terms of enjoyment, I don't think I got too much out of this project. Uh, I think I got more out of The Lost Boy than I got from this album. I feel like The Lost Boy had more of a more songs that I could come back often. Although I don't really come back to that album too much. Um, but I do think there's more songs on that album uh, that I like more than this album. There isn't any outstanding tracks on here that I'm definitely going to be coming back to. The production wasn't anything huge. It was just alright. I mean, it fitted with the album. The hooks that Corday was doing wasn't anything that was catchy. Some songs end up being forgettable. The features were definitely a breath of fresh air, something that I needed, especially going through like half of the album being just Corday. There wasn't too much, so that's good. Uh, I do like that the album is like a 12-track album. If I took off the skits, it would be like a 10-track album. So that's pretty good. The running time was just perfect. Um, the two bonus songs, I didn't really care for the song with Eminem. The other one, the Chosen song with Ann Clemens and Roddy Rich, was one of my favorite songs off this project. But I wouldn't include it uh, in this project just because those are two bonus songs. My favorite songs on here are Chronicles, John Mitchell, One From Me, Today, and Westlake High. Those are my top five favorite songs on this project. I probably won't come back to them. I think the only one that will come back is the song Chronicles with Dirk and her. Time to give this a rating. Um, Now, would I buy this on vinyl CD, or am I better off streaming the album? Or would I just not listen to this album again? I think I'm better off streaming the album, and I think you guys are too. I don't think there's anything here that I need to listen to on vinyl, and I don't think there's anything on here that kind of guarantees a CD purchase. Probably the album cover alone, maybe I might get the CD just off the album cover, but I don't think I am, honestly. Um, I think I'm way much better off streaming the album than if I were to buy the album and listen to it uh, all the way through. Now, from a scale from 1 to 10, this album is a 6 out of 10. I don't think Cordae is doing anything different than what he was doing in his last album. Although his lyrics have improved a lot, I think the songs, in terms of enjoyment, weren't as good as his previous body of work. This album is nowhere near a classic, and it's definitely not better than The Lost Boy. But yeah, I guess it was an average album. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm just in between uh, Corday from a bird's eye view. And as always, let me know what's your thoughts on this album. Um, and yeah, I'm going to be reviewing Earl Sweatshirt's Sick album next. So until then,